I was organizing my watercolor paints this weekend and came across the Schmincke Liquid Charcoal in this little bitty box. So it's a set of 3. You get the Grape Seed Black, Cherry Pit Black, and Peach Stone Black. And I thought it would be nice to explore those with you. Now you can buy the set of 3. The only place that I saw that right now is at Jerry's Artorama, but you can also buy individual colors almost everywhere. Amazon, Dick Blick, everywhere has the individuals, but the little set that I have only found it at Jerry's Artorama. We're going to do a little value study of each color, and then we're going to try playing with salt. I want to see if it granulates or what it does. I've been wanting to add these to some of my watercolors to see how they mix, and that will be another lesson. Right now I just want to see the different colors because it's been a very long time since I played around with these. So on my palette here I have the Grape Seed Black, Cherry Pit Black, and Peach Stone Black. So let's have fun. I bought these to experiment with, and they didn't get too far. I did a couple paintings with them, and that was it. I want to start introducing them to my watercolors. I'm going to do a mass tone here, and then I'm going to get lighter with 3 values, and then I'm going to do a longer version here. It goes on really beautiful. It's nice and dark. I think I'm going to splash this tone here. I want to see what those do without the splashing. I want to see if we can see the color differences. So I'm going to dip my brush in water and bring it back just to lighten the load here. I'm looking for about a 50% color. Going to rinse my brush again, add more water. This seems to have a bluish cast. So this was the grapes. Now on this one here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dampen it, and then I'm going to start heavy here and then just let it kind of flow with the water to see how it flows. The sketchbook I'm using is a handmade sketchbook. It has Fabriano 140-pound paper in it, cold press. Okay, let's load my brush up. I'm going to rinse it with just water now and just pull. Look at that. That's beautiful. Okay, I'm going to splash. The next one is Cherry Pit. if I recall correctly, I think this one was a little bit warmer. It already looks a little more brown on the palette. I usually tend to remember warmer colors. That's probably why I remember this. Dipping my brush in water. Oh yeah, you can see the difference here. It's got a little warmer tone. Dipping my brush in water again. Okay, I need to wet this again. All right, let's get some dark in here. See how it plays out. Gonna grab some water. Let's pull it out to the edge. That's a pretty color. And I was right, it is a little warmer. Now we have Peach Stone Black. Oh, I forgot to splash. This one looks the blackest of them all. I don't know if that's true or not, but from my palette, that's what it looks like. Pretty. Adding water. Adding more water. Let's get this big square washed in, a rectangle. I'm already thinking of the colors that I want to play with in the next exercise, and of course I want to add buff titanium to see what that would do. Thinking a hot pink might be interesting to see what they do with that as well. And I want to see when these dry what they feel like. Are they going to feel like graphite? Are they going to feel soft like a watercolor or smooth? chalky. I don't know. That's very interesting. Get a splash. Okay. While those are drying, I've got two circles here. One I'm going to drop salt into. I've just got some table salt here. The bigger one I think I'm going to drop the big salt into. And then this one, what I'm going to do is fill them in solid. So kind of with a more 50%, maybe a little heavier, maybe between these two, because I want to put another layer over it to see how dark it gets, but I also want to test if it lifts. So let me do the big circles first. And those I'm going to try to do like a value, so darker up here and go a little lighter here. They wet very well. Easy to blend. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of my brush here and just lift a little bit of this. Okay, let's drop some salt in it. The next one is, that was the grape seed. The next one is cherry pit. I can tell you I love this color of them. This is my favorite. Take a little off, and let's add the salt. It's drying really fast. I hope I get some salt texture. I might have to splash that. Add a little bit of splashes here. Okay, the last one is peach stone. And if you're wondering about the colors and why they're named that way, they're actually burned the stones. So the peach stones is actually the peach pits that they've burned. And I would guess they gathered the ashes and then created the pigments out of that. That one got real dark. Gonna splash a little water on that one as well. Hopefully the salt will do its magic. Little circles here. Grape seed. Got a wobbly hand today. Doesn't want to make a pretty circle for me. Now we're on to cherry pit. and then peach stone. It dries really fast, much faster than watercolor. In fact, I don't even know that those got wet for the salt. Which means if you were working on a big picture, you would have to move quite quickly. I'm going to use a flat brush to just make a streak of the same color straight across it so that I can test the darkness. That's nice, it's not shifting as I do that layer. I can't believe how fast that's drying. Okay, let me move this. What we're gonna do now is lift a little bit. So I'm just going to use the chisel edge. By that, I'm pressing, there we go. I'm pressing the chisel edge flat, and you can see what a point it is. So then I'm going to drag it across. Look at that, it lifts nice. Blot with paper towel. Okay. So what I'm doing too is pinching most of the water out. See, they lifted quite nice. What I'm going to do now is lift the other half of it again, just see if it lifts a little bit more. It's not really getting brighter. Okay, let me wipe the salt off this. As I wipe the salt off, you can see my fingers got a little bit blackened. That could just be the pigment onto the salt. Okay, I've got them labeled. And this area here, this row is the Grape Seed Black. This row is the Cherry Pit Black. And then this bottom row is the Peach Stone Black. I'm gonna bring these up close so that you can have a look at them all. I'm gonna do this, the values first. Do you see the color difference there? Where that top one seems more blue, the middle seems more warm, and the bottom one seems very neutral. And then we've got the textures over here. So the salt is the bigger circle, and then the lift and the transparency is in the smaller. Texture came out a little bit. Here's where I really think you can see the difference in the colors, is the big one with the salt. So that was really fun exploring those, and I can tell you that I'm anxious to see how these mix with other colors. The softness there, it definitely feels like graphite. How do I want to explain that? It feels like graphite and chalk kind of pounded together, and it's very smooth, but you can definitely feel the texture of it. It's not rubbing off on my fingers or anything, so that's nice. It rubbed off here because of the salt. Yeah, no rubbing off or anything, but I like the way that it feels. It doesn't have a shine. Like I was worried that it would have a graphite shine. You can see when I'm tilting it, there's no shine or anything. Which is good because I was worried about that. If I was to pick my favorite, you know, it would be the Cherry Pit Black. And I would definitely buy a bigger tube of that just to play around with it. But these are the 5 milliliter tubes. They've lasted a while. I mean, I've barely dented any of them because you only pour out a little bit. So those were really fun to experiment with today. If you were inspired by today's content, please like, comment, or subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.